Hello, Patreon supporters. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I appreciate your guys' support. And so we have a Hooker's Push public match view for your additional broadcasts of the week. Anyway, server pop today. It is currently 185. It is about 7 o'clock on Friday, February 7th. So, night's getting popping here. Inbalance right now is 10 towards the CSA side. Artillery-wise, the Confederates have 10. Meanwhile, the Union has 7. So that imbalance, infantry-wise, goes a little more in favor of Union at 6. Your officers for today. For CSA, you have My Name Rider. You have no one for this company. You have Casablanca. No one for that company either. And for the artillery, you have Soap Addict. So like half the CSA groups just don't have officers. Lovely. Meanwhile, on the Union side, you got Napoleon III. You have Night Breeze. You have Hazel. For the artillery, you have Big Mac and Jam. So, let's get into our round here. So, Hooker's Push, you got point of contention here in the center of the field. Now, CSA can hold defensively while still being on point behind this side of the hill, and they can be in complete cover. It is, I don't know if the map boundaries have changed over the years, or I never noticed it, or people never noticed it. Regardless of the fact, is that that spot seems really overpowered to hold that as CSA, and it never really seemed to be used until of late, at least from what I've seen. But usually Union will push up this right side, at least they did in the past, going up these rocks, because it's probably the only defensive spot in the open field, and it gets you right up on point. However, as of late, Union has started going more to this left side, as you can see. And you can see CSA are in positions to counter the Union as effectively as they can. And so Union either is going to have a sit and shootout for a majority of this match, which is an option. You don't have a whole lot of time to do that if you want to do that. Tickets don't go down a whole lot. However, the interesting part about this being not a 300-man server is that tickets are lost at a more frequent rate when people die. So you got to be a little more hesitant of it. I still think shooting from a long distance is not going to yield enough ticket loss, although we'll see, because that's why you play the match. Theories are everything, but you don't know until you actually do it. So that being said, Hooker's Push is a 19% ticket advantage to the Union, so it's a little bit, not a whole lot. However, the disadvantage for Union on this map is that Union main spawn, as we've seen many times, is all the way back there, and so it takes them like 3.5, 4 minutes to get up here. And Union only has 3 companies compared to CSA, who has 4, meaning CSA will be able to out-respawn Union. So if Union wants to play this map, they cannot get up right next to the CSA and just engage in a close little shootout. You don't want to do that because CSA has 4 companies. They have 4 flags. In theory, they should be able to out-respawn you. So if Union does make an aggressive push towards CSA, I would recommend, at least on this map, to charge. Because the longer the shootout goes, in theory, you would lose that. And nearly every time I've watched it happen, that is what goes down. Infantry-wise, the weapons that we have here, the 2nd Wisconsin Regiment for the Union, which is about 90% of their players right now, has the Lorenz or the Springfield 61. That's the options they have. And then the other company, the U.S. Sharps, they have the Sharps Carbine. Now, that's the regiment that has 1 company compared to the normal 2. CSA, on the other hand, they got the 13th Georgia and the 6th Louisiana. Both have the Enfield and the Springfield 55. So, no buck and ball here, but you can see Union trying to inch their way a little closer. CSA is actually dropping a considerable amount of tickets. I mean, really, fighting's only been happening for 3.5 minutes, and you can see Union is down about 1/4 of a morale stage right now. So, CSA's got to find some way to change this. They either got to find a way to deal more damage to the Union, which I highly doubt that's going to be the case, because it's difficult to do that in most cases as defender, especially since you have less tickets overall compared to the attacker. But you could also try to hold back a little further, keep that clock ticking down. You want it to go to 0. But obviously, if you hold back as CSA, Union might start encroaching on your line. Now, Union's going to do that regardless since they're attacking. You can see Union keep slowly pushing their way up.
Keep it spacing. Do not be clumped. Do not be clumped.
A lot of those CSA shots went over. A lot of those went over. That's something that you'll see a lot.
You can see them.
And the unfortunate part, or fortunate part, whatever you want to argue, is that when you're shooting in this game, right, you don't see your kill. You could see that as a good thing because it's like, oh, this is more historically accurate. It would make more sense. You don't know if you kill someone, unlike a lot of modern games that we have today, which you know when you kill someone. A little pop-up or whatever it may be. But at least in War of Rights, that's not the case. So you could argue it's good because it's nice to know if you're actually hitting your shots, and so you can be a little more consistent. But if you don't know where if you don't know where your shot is hitting or not, you can't adjust. And so that's why you got to have good officers there with the binoculars to see how well your line is hitting. Now, when you're doing rising up volleys and that, it can be a lot more difficult as an officer to see if you're hitting your shots or not. Obviously, when you're in a spectator view, it's nice, but let's see how the CSA volley is. I mean, a couple hits, but a lot went over. Again, shots at this game, they rise at these shorter distance shootouts. I do not know if that's how guns historically are. However, that's how it works in this game, is when you're really close to something and you shoot, the bullet's going to rise. Now, it will fall eventually, but the key word is eventually.
And check.
So, Union's played this round very well so far. They've gotten CSE down a considerable amount of tickets. Down 2/3 of a morale stage. If they can get them down to that by 30 minutes, that'd be great. And Union just keeps getting closer and closer and closer, and they keep dealing a significant ticket loss on the CSA. Now, it'll be intriguing to see what Union wants to do at this point. Are they going to try to continue this for the rest of the round? It's a question of how fast is their pace, because, I mean, what? 6 minutes for 2/3 of a morale stage? And I think that's definitely enough time to at least knock your opponent down to breaking, if not get them close to last stand at this rate. It's assuming nothing changes, but we'll see if Union wants to charge and get aggressive with the CSA. Now, it's high risk, high reward. Again, if you lose those flags as Union, you gotta go all the way back there, and that's not fun. And then you don't have your flags for 5 minutes. And so any effort you try to push up here will just get beaten back quickly. So you could argue that this map is heavily Union biased, but because of that reason that I just mentioned, the whole respawn thing, it can be very easy for this map to go CSA's way if Union fails 1 or 2 charges with their flags. And speaking of that, looks like Union's going to go. Night Breeze sending his guys forward. You have one of the other Union infantry companies sitting back. And this is a little dangerous of a game for Union here. You don't want these prolonged, shorter range shootouts where CSA will out-respawn you. Looks like you got the Sharps for Union moving up as well. Now, if you can defeat the CSA in detail, full send.
Hold the line.
I'm watching the ram,
Hey, watch the right, watch the right.
So a couple of Union guys are going forward. The rest of the Union infantry has moved forward, and I mean, the nice part for Union is half CSA is sitting back, and it looks like the front CSA are a little confused. Flag falling back. Looks like officer order to charge from CSA, which it's not a terrible idea in concept, but terrible execution. So that'll hit CSA down to engage, and Union's had a very, very good start so far. Something you don't historically see on hookers. So CSA falling back. Looks like some of the CSA are going to try to fall back to these snake fences. Union is partially capping. The guys on Union right are on point. Union should not early cap on this map. Well, it depends on the situation. Right now, Union does not need to early cap. Now, since Union's taken that first little set of defilades there, that's very huge. Now, we're looking at the next CSA defensive line here. And if Union takes this spot here, I mean, CSA have that snake fence over there, sure. But if they take this side of the hill here, it's all open field. And CSA spawn very far away as well. Don't really focus on that as much because they're defending. And normally CSA doesn't get team wiped on this map. You rarely see it. Just because of the nature of the open field. Union doesn't tend to team charge a whole lot unless it's towards the end of the game. So, for now, the shootout commences, and it's not like the shootout wasn't working. It was working plenty well. So, looks like CSA over here are trying to get around a little further. Now, I think this is out of bounds for Union.
Yeah, guys, we could have easily wiped them out, but we kind of stalled this, that we got wiped for ourselves. So, gentlemen,
so it's a little risky, obviously, spreading out like this. Union did decide to charge either of these flanks that could break through pretty easily. But with this eating out of bounds for Union, I think this works just fine for CSA.
Under the deflate, under the deflate, under the deflate. Right here on the flag, right here on the flag. Get your reloads. Loads in, bayonets on, and loads in.
So, Union's got 30 minutes now. We got one CSA Rambo on the back end. What are we up to now? Got 195. It's gonna keep going up here. How many guys on artillery now? CSA have 11. Do they have officers now? Looks like they do, so that's a good thing to see at least. Union actually has the same amount of guys on artillery as before, so. Union batteries are back there. You can see where those guys are. Also, that arty shot hit really, really short. I don't know why they were aiming for that. Not like they can see a whole lot. And that's part of the unfortunate thing is that infantry and artillery communication doesn't happen. Even when the officers have Steam chat and they communicate that way. You normally don't see the cooperation that much. Meanwhile, CSA batteries, they are intermixed with the CSA infantry that is here. There's also some guns back here on the Hagerstown Turnpike map. And then, is there some over here? I don't remember. I mean, there's some caissons here, or horse artillery things. I don't know the exact verbiage for it. Maybe they rolled the guns away, but yeah, at least Union artillery on this map is not great. You're shooting so far away, and it's not like infantry is really communicate. I mean, they might be. You'll see it sometimes, but you won't see consistent active communication, especially when the infantry goes into charge. Usually artillery should hit before Union is charging in. Same for CSA. Whoever's charging, have artillery throw some shots into the opposing line and then go in. There's some canister. There's some canister. I like it.
Rifle, I think 8, I want to say.
Well, they can't.
I can't remember. I just know that the 12 is a lot more of a spread out thing compared to the ordnance rifle. That's more of just a tight cone. Yeah.
CSA is actually halfway through engaged right now. It's been about 4 minutes. That's actually insane that the shootout is going this far in Union's favor. So Union's going to charge this side. I like the charge. It's the sharp six. They're not charging. They're just running up, taking shots, and they're falling back. Some of the guys, though, want blood, and they're going in and dying. So Union trying to maybe increase the ticket kill rate by more. It's not like they need to, though. If anything, the ball's in CSA court, and CSA has got to respond. If something ain't working or it's not looking good, you really need to respond. Seriously. Because the issue is as a defender here, it makes sense to just sit back in these nice defensive positions to hold Union where they're at. But you're playing a tickets game here and you're losing on tickets, so you got to do something different. You either got to fall back more and maybe force Union to early cap so that you can have an attempt to regain the point and regain 3/4 of a morale stage as it would stand right now. Or you could try to charge Union out. Or just shift where you're at. You know, do something. Because right now, it ain't working. And don't necessarily know where the ticket rate is dropping, but it lost another 4th of stage in like a minute and a half. Unless these smaller pops drop this much in tickets, but I highly doubt that. Union does hit engaged. So Union flag is down. I don't know why they're not picking up. Again, these flags are huge because I don't know. It almost makes you wonder if CSA should charge. It really almost makes me think if they should, because at this point in the round, if this continues, you're not winning. You're down almost a morale stage. If you charge and push Union flags out, though, you can knock Union out of the match for the next 10 or so minutes. Probably more like 6 or 7. But I mean, it's definitely a risk, but it's like you're going to lose right now, so you might as well try something new.
Easy ticket games. They're running away now, thanks to us here.
But I think it can be unfortunate because, like sports, if you go for the 4th down a whole bunch or you charge defensively a whole lot and it doesn't work, you can get a lot of crap for it. So CSA fall back there, trying to preserve their tickets. I mean, 25 minutes CSA and taking losses. Next stage, breaking Union could cap 1, and then last stand. This is something's got to change.
Hold that line. Get our respawns in. Make sure that flag's in formation. Get on that line.
So yeah, I think
Black, get into formation so people can get back.
Kind of shooting us. Everyone was on me, boys. Shift to the left, shift left at me. I'll shoot
Moving
left on him.
left.
Follow your star. Left.
Left-hand side. Let's go.
We're gonna volley and pull back, boys. Remember, only cut that
Melee
gas,
mode.
y'all.
Go melee mode. Melee mode. You can
See,
aim faster.
Melee mode. Come on, guys.
Right here. Take aim. Take aim on this line. Take aim.
Steady no. Steady no.
got a couple of guys, but CSA hit taking losses. That's the thing, though, is that at this, what is that doing for your team? Rising up, shooting, and then falling back. What is that doing for your team? If you're trying to get a ticket lead, you're not going to be able to predict just doing that. It really seems like CSA is trying to play for time that I think there's too much time on the clock with how low of tickets they have at this point. I mean,
that man take in direct front southwest. Let's go.
what, 11.5 minutes? That's the amount of time Union has. And normally, like 10 minutes is a slow rate to get your opponent, or an okay rate to get your opponent down. And Union's been getting CSA down roughly every what, about 8.5 minutes, which is pretty good. CSA trying to sequel up for Union season.
Hey, get back a little bit. Get back to this lineup, to your rear. Press R to break those reloads over here. Space out top ahead. Face over here and independent fire on your own face once you're reloaded.
Let's go, get over here.
And space it out to the left, space it out to the left.
I mean, the other interesting thing I think about the CSA position is that they're putting themselves so that Union is between them and the point. I find that a little interesting. I get it's a great spot, but point is wide open for Union.
There's more cats on the left side of the whole player line. needs to space it out. Holy hell, you got me a tough shot on the center.
They do not need.
Golly.
I don't know. Union doesn't need the point, but because CSA is going so far away, it's open there if Union wants it.
We probably should. It looks like that they have a friendly company. They're a little too close. If that already.
So CSA is just kind of hopping back and forth, trying to throw Union off. I mean, hey, at least it's something different. I don't know how well it's working. I mean, that ticket difference is what, 3/4 of a stage right now. So it's slightly going back in CSA's favor, only by a slight amount. I don't know if that's enough, at least for now, but I mean, if they keep that up.
Come to you, take it right, on the star, press T, follow that damn star, break whatever you're doing, load, bayonet, don't care. Drop whatever you're doing, let's go.
I have a sword.
But yeah, I mean, Union's kind of played the round well so far. Union's played the well round so far. But it's not like CSA by any means is. CSA did not act very unified at the beginning, like with two companies holding forward and then two holding back. Kind of let Union roll over the CSA. So Union's edging point. Are they going to charge?
What up, boys?
Yeah, they are. Don't cap point. I think these guys are capping. Anyways.
Unlock and just unload. Close range, boys. There they are. We have enemies who are right on that cannon. Hold here and just fire.
Hey, I want the flags to go to the right. We're getting charged to the left. Charge to the left.
So Union's seriously going to cap point.
You smell like spaghetti.
Why is Union capping the point? Alright. Well, Union charge CSA here. CSA trying to hit the backside of Union line. The question is, where are the flags? Flags are going to be the biggest thing. One Union flag is down. CSA looks to be winning this right now. Two Union flags down. Where's their third? Is it back? It's back here. Is it infantry or is it sharps? It's...
Yeah.
Well, it's the sharps. So the whole Union infantry just charged in and they lost their flags. Ah, that's unfortunate. And because Union capped as well, CSA is going to retake the point and gain essentially a whole morale stage in tickets right now.
Oh my god, I missed him with the sword.
So...
Good job. Thank you, sir.
That was a mistake from Union. That was two little mistakes there. Like, the charge in and of itself is not a bad idea because CSA was very, very spread out. But Union was really spread out in that charge, and CSA kind of hit the back. I mean, CSA played that well. You got to win that charge quick. And I don't know. Didn't go well for Union. They lost two flags as well. And all those guys are spawning back in. Main Union's not going to get those flags for another like 4.5 minutes because of the 5-minute despawn timer. And CSA is going to be able to retake the point here and regain a whole morale stage. Now, if I were CSA, I would charge the sharps out. Because if you can get all three Union flags down, that's going to be huge. Not that the sharps flag being up is that huge, but...
Is this thing loaded?
I think Remedy's going to try to get one of the Union flags out, which they need to kill that. Nice shot there. And another thing, too, is you can argue if this is a good thing or not. Remedy was trying to get the flag. Flag's huge on this map, right? But he picked it up and he died, so that 5-minute timer restarted. And so you can argue if that's a good decision to go out on Rambo and get that. It all depends on circumstances. I don't know if it's... I don't know. Generally advise against it. So, Union Sharps are going to pull off. CSA spending the time to reform. They're going to retake point, regain a morale stage here. That was nightmare situation for Union. I mean, we might be a little late, but can we hear the officers yapping?
fun.
So it looks like
Kinda dragging.
nothing as of now. But that's the thing, all these guys here that are moving out of Maine, they don't got those flags, so if they die, they got to spawn back at Maine, move out. This is... And the thing, too, is that Union's going to spend, again, 4 minutes running up here, and by the time they get up here, those flags will despawn, and someone can spawn back in with them at Maine. Which means Union's going to have to wait another 3.5, 4 minutes to get them. So Union's going to be out of this fight for another 5-6 minutes. And now that CSA is up to the top of taking losses, they have, yeah, they are very set with time, and so they can continue their original strategy. Just a huge mistake from Union. That you had the game in your bag, you didn't necessarily need to cap or charge. It's not like, yeah, I don't know. But if it would have worked for Union, that charge, because it was looking like CSA was spread out enough to where Union could defeat him in detail, and that's what I was mentioning earlier. But I guess it wasn't large enough. CSA was able to get there and reinforce, hit him in the back, get those flags before Union could wipe the first force. And I mean, here's the thing, if Union wins that charge, they hit CSA probably close to breaking, if not in breaking, and then capture and win automatically, and this round's done. But if CSA's not on break, Union just sets up here and keeps CSA out of spawn. So the double whammy, though, is the fact that Union capped and CSA regained all those tickets. Like, if you lose the flags once and you got to do this as Union, it's not terrible, but now I think CSA is slightly ahead on tickets. What a turnaround.
The entire 2 companies, 3 companies realistically.
Yeah, there's 4 companies. There's also one to the south as well. So
Yeah,
south,
direct south.
southwest, and then there's one to the west of south.
So Union finally shows up. Question is, what are they going to do? They can all charge in and die and be aggressive like that, just so they can respawn back at Maine with the flags. Or they can kind of sit and shoot out from a distance, which is fine. You'll be able to at least keep the CSA losing tickets, but you'll have these slow respawn waves moving up from Maine with that flag. So Union looks to be condensing on the rocks. And we'll probably hear what the officers have to say in terms of a plan.
Yeah, there we go. Good tactical decision.
Yeah, it's like golf.
Take it around, Company B. Take it around the back of them.
What up?
Charlie! Alright, everyone just respawn buddies rocks here.
Hey, so artillery's been taking some shots here. Now that you guys are here, I'm gonna go out to the southeast and form a skirmish line there so I can shoot down the rest of the south.
He's dead.
Already?
He just got shot. He got hit by a cannon on the way in. He got hit by a cannon on the way in. He just got shot then.
Southwest. So make sure
Oh, good heaven.
Yeah, okay, Sharp's gonna be moving. Good luck, infantry. Sharps, left face.
Well, looks like one of the Union flags will despawn. The one that was picked up a little bit later is going to be here for another 30-45 seconds. See Union the trickle-ins, which the Union should have at least one of those flags in by now, but it's not going to be up there until about the 12-30 minute mark. Hey, it looks like the other one despawned. So Union's got their flags back. So at least Union's going to be able to attempt this. Now, Union can hit CSA in the break-in cap point and then win. Definitely a possibility, but the odds, I don't know. I guess we'll see the ticket loss. Union was able to get CSA down a good amount of tickets earlier on at the beginning of the match, and so I wouldn't be surprised if Union tried to repeat that process. I really wonder what the decision was behind the charge there. I mean, I don't know. It's just if something's working, you should probably stick to it. CSA wasn't really adapting a whole lot. He had a lot of time left on the clock. So. You can see CSA is holding on point, as mentioned, behind the defilade here. A very powerful spot. Maybe these guys could go back a hair more, but regardless, they still have the cover of the defilade in the hill. The crest, blocking Union's shots.
Yeah, shabby.
So, again, you still got a lot of Union guys moving out. Again, they're not going to be there till like 11, 12 minute mark. So Union not having a lot of time. I wonder if they're going to try to charge again or if they're just going to continue with their strategy they did at the beginning, which it's going to take. If they go at the same pace that they did at the beginning of the round with that shootout, CSA would be in last stand in about, I would say, 13 and a half, 14 minutes.
God dang, that already loves us.
Maybe a little longer than that, but Union definitely still has time to make this work. But you can't lose the flags again. You lose the flags twice on this map, you're out of luck for a long time.
Big smoke column, right? Yeah, don't worry about it. That happens sometimes. I try to stay
So, can we hear anything from Union officers at this point? Because it looks like the one spawning for main showed up.
We're just gonna stay for like 40 seconds of just shooting, just like 2 shots. We're gonna get ready to move on that center point. And we need everyone on this. We need everyone to commit.
So, are they going to try to early cap again? That's not a bad idea. Now, that ticket lead Union has is not there anymore. And so, if Union did cap, it's not like CSA would regain a whole lot of tickets, if any at all. And by capping the point, it would stop that black timer as we saw earlier. And Union could have a chance to deal some damage to CSA. So, we'll see if they go in 5 seconds. Now, if we look at the balance here quickly, it is a lot in CSA. It's 12 in CSA's favor. Artillery-wise, Confederates have 9, Union has 10. So that's going to be a big issue for Union, is if they're going to try to cap on point. CSA, if they put their whole team outside of artillery on the back, on that defilade, Union won't be able to cap point. At least they shouldn't. But for now, Union on point capping.
5 men for spacing on each dot line, from each other's shoulder. Do not be clumped, nor get behind someone else.
So it's not a terrible idea. CSA will probably start shifting back to where Chunky's guys are, so we can get that cap to stop.
Independent fire at their heads.
Rep the officer.
Get your boys on point if they're not already.
Yeah, I would if you had more chevrons on it, asshole.
Union still capping. A lot of those CSA guys are still on the right. You can understand why they're there. They don't want Union to outflank them. But it's not like if CSA fell back, it would be the worst thing in the world for them, because they held strong, at least here, even when Union did charge. So, Union the take. How is CSA going to play this? Oh, maybe not. It's teetering. It's teetering. It's going back in CSA's favor. That's well done there from CSA. Granted, not all of Union is on cap point as well, but looks like that CSA group shifting a little more towards center. So this is exactly how you play this map as CSA. You wait for Union to charge you and hope you win that charge. If you can win that charge, you are in a great place for the rest of the round.
Free real estate left and right.
We have 9 minutes, boys. We just need to keep shooting. We need to keep shooting.
And
Aim at their heads, boys. Aim at their heads.
I mean, it's almost getting to a point where Union, they're either going to have to try condensing down on point, or they're going to have to charge. Eight minutes left. Union, I mean, they're creeping around CSA's right. I guess this map is not as wide as it would look, at least from the overview. And I guess CSA can respond quickly going back and forth. I mean, CSA's been playing this round perfectly. It's not like Union's played terrible at all. They just made they made 2 bad decisions in the middle of the round. And they're paying for it. They might lose, honestly.
Follow Star Sharps, follow Star Sharps, standing carpet.
I mean, right now it's almost 4 minutes since Union has really ramped up the pressure and tried capping on point. You have the other Union infantry group starting to move over as well. Meanwhile, the original capping group is going to go on around the side here and hit CSA's left. Now, are they going to charge?
I know you guys are tired of listening to this arguing too. Somebody else is on it. Start shooting quickly. Get up here. Get up here. Get up here.
He's getting close, but he ain't charging. I mean, not going to win that, so you don't blame him there. Union taking a little ticket lead here. 7 minutes left.
Get ready for a charge, boys. They're right here. They're right here. Use these rocks as cover. Use these rocks as cover. Keep them off the fucking left side. Use the rocks as cover. And see, y'all keep fire. Hey, we got a whole company.
CSA is going to hit braking in a second, so I mean, it's going to, I don't know if Union can take the point from the center. It's going in Union's favor, though. I guess CSA's not on point. Which I'm sure CSA is going to react in a second and get on point. Yep, there you go. Oh, it's teetering. I mean, in a second or so, CS is going to braking. Union can cap and win, so I wonder if Union's going to charge in once that happens. I think they're going to have to. Union's sitting on point. They're not going to be able to cap it that way, although it's going back in Union's favor. Union could try to gang up and charge on this CSA left side, but it's such an open field that CSA would know what's up very quickly. So the Sharps are on point capping. Hazel's moving his infantry company. Night Breeze falling back with his guys, though. Maybe they're trying to converge on the center. Union capping point. I think Hazel's going on to it. Now, CSA's got to get on point. A lot of CSA over here off point. They're probably going to charge in. Yep, there they go. CSA are breaking. Points going back in CSA's favor. Teetering going back in Union's. This Union flag bearer needs to get out of Dodge. And even if Union was going to win that, I would really play safe with flags here. So, CSA win that charge. Union's still kind of engaging over there, though. A lot of CSA are, I don't know if they're off point or what, but Union's capping. I guess that blunt charge that CSA had a second ago didn't work out as well as they hoped. And, wow. If Union finishes off, this is going to be impressive. I'm a little surprised that Union is able to outcap CSA here. I guess guys were just off point, but it was a nice win from Union. You know, one mistake or 2 mistakes don't define you. And Union just kind of did what they did at the beginning and won. I personally didn't think it would work out as easy as that, to be frank. I mean, CSA had more guys than Union, and so they should have been able to put more bodies in the Union and contest point, but CSA trying to defend the whole width of the map. lost it there. So sorry about that weird transition. But with that being said, thank you all for being Patreon supporters. I appreciate you a lot. I hope you enjoyed this Hookers Push public match. And yeah, not much more to say. Really well done to Union. You made 2 mistakes, but you recovered well. CSA, I think that charge they did at the end, those guys weren't on point, and I think that was the biggest difference in all of that. But it is what it is. Thank you all. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.